Hello, this is Richie from the Metal Cell podcast. I'm absolutely delighted to welcome Paul Nash, guitarist with Senzar. How are you, man?
Grand. Yourselves, how's things?
Fine. The last time I was watching you was on the Siege cast, would you believe?
That's the last time you played actually live.
Yeah, and it was a great show, man. Jesus Christ. What was it like? Just lead us into it. The kind of rehearsals and whatever.
Yeah, well, there was the rehearsal part of it, but then when you get down and then there's just the whole production behind it was, I couldn't believe it. Was, might as well have been on a TV show. That's exactly the way. There's so much detail gone into it. Then it was just play and enjoy it, but it was just in between songs is a bit no reaction because you're playing live and you're concentrating more, and it's more of a performance than a rehearsal.
It is, yeah.
And then it just, when it just cuts, there's silence. All right, next song, and then back in. Yeah. But it was pretty good.
And you probably haven't done something like that before, have you?
Never.
Yeah.
Never done any.
To figure that out, like, were you conscious of where you were standing? Were you getting nervous even going into it?
No, I don't think so. I was more probably worried about the actual mix over the whole coming through, but the mix is brilliant. Like,
yeah, sure.
It's good to watch. Yeah, they're brilliant. The lads putting it together is great. Like
Kieran and John, yeah. Cheers, guys. And who else was on that night? I'm trying to think.
Zela Cultron, they're deadly, as usual.
Yeah, and Sharborn, wasn't it?
Oh, that's right, yeah, Sharborn, yeah, because they were on first, then Zela. No, it was Sharborn ourselves and then Zela Cult.
Yeah, and you've definitely come across the lads a fair few times.
Yeah, all of them. We went to see Sharborn at I just can't remember the last time I seen them before the actual podcast, but Zela Cult lads a couple of weeks ago in Dublin here, in the music centre.
Oh yeah, Fraught were with him as well.
Fraught, yeah, that's right. It was a good night. It was the first, let's say, live gig that I was at since everything, let's say, shut down or whatever. Yeah, it was class. The first, and it was just great just to actually just go to the bar, order a beer, and watch a band.
Yeah,
that was the whole day. It was brilliant.
Yeah, and like Jesus, in fairness, the quality as well, like that was in front of you playing that fucking music. My God.
Yeah, no, it's great. They're all well seasoned. It's great,
Yeah. Did you have a few beers with them afterwards?
Yeah, I did. There was a club on the Grand Social after. It was all like an alternative Headbangers Ball, it's called, and we went and I met the lads at that. It was pretty good,
Yeah. Isn't it nuts what you just forget? Just the whole social aspect of it as well. It's not only about the music, it's socially you're meeting a lot of heads that you haven't seen in ages, and you're kind of going, fuck me, what, we have like someone has taken our life for like 2 years, just taken it away from us, and all of the things that we thought for granted, just taken away. And live music, that's all we fucking live for. That's all we live for.
The thing is, just you have a choice to go. You have the choice of going to these gigs, and you try to go to what you can, but majority of the time it doesn't suit the taste that you're into.
Yeah.
But
I drove up to Belfast from Cork to see Worn Out, Foreign Wolf, and Survivalist in the Speakeasy, and then that finished up. It was fantastic, and then we legged it across the city to catch the end of Crypt of the Rift. So we got to see Hornets and Elder Druid.
Very good. It's a lot different up there. They're back fully now, aren't they?
They're back fully, yeah. They are. Yeah. But still, I'm nearly sure I was asked for my COVID pass going in. From what I can remember, it was a bit of a blur at that stage for the last two bands. But
yeah.
But again, just chatting to people as well, shooting the breeze of people genuinely kind of delighted to be out, listening to live music again.
Yeah, just happy being out, that's it.
Yeah. And in relation to your own band, Paul, what I remember reading about you probably maybe a year ago or a year and a half ago, saying that you had a new album
Jesus.
wrote, but I don't know where it went from after that. Like,
Well, the COVID kicked in. We couldn't get to a studio. Then we went into a studio, and then more restrictions kicked in. And then hopefully we'll have that finished off the next couple. It's only a few things, minor things to be done. One vocals for one track, and then mixing and stuff, and then that'll be finished.
right.
So I'm not sure when it'll be released. Obviously, it's going to be in 2022. But we've been in rehearsing anytime we can, and we've the guts of another album wrote as well. It's just to keep them. It's just to keep the momentum going. You couldn't just go in and just rehearse songs that have been written for the last year or so, you know.
Yeah.
So we just keep the momentum going, write stuff, get the head down, and just rehearse once a week, and that's all you really need to do. Like, it's just about keeping it going. That's it, you know.
And do you know the new stuff that you have wrote, we'll say, and announced nearly 2 years ago? How many songs were they? Was it an EP or was it an album?
Well, it was 6 songs, the last one, and this one, I think it's 8.
Okay.
8 songs to be released.
And is there any kind of variance in your sound? Have you changed anything much?
No, not really. It's be the overall mix of styles. We'll be going through all the songs as usual. But now it's a little bit darker, I think.
Yeah.
You know,
dark is good, man.
You know, it's a little bit darker, I think. Yeah.
And do you know, we'll say you had Michael Richards working with you on the last release. Do you think you'll go to Michael again?
Yeah, well, that's who we were with for let's say, the second album that's been to be released.
Okay.
So he's very good. He's easy to work with. There's never any problems, you know. He's a very quick engineer doing what he does. He's good, you know, track mix.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, man. He's come up on the show plenty of times, and just the production that he got off your last album, man, was fantastic as well.
But that production was like, there was a bit of a long period of time doing that, and I think we're going backwards and forwards to the album, not concentrating on a week or a weekend, it made the production better because it was dragged out.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know, like, it was going back and there was little tweaks here and there, and it wasn't because you were going, I don't like that, I don't like this. It's just like, it's just the way it worked. You know, things mightn't have been fully ready. I want to change a few lines in the lyrics, so I want to do something on the guitar. Yeah. And you know, so. And
like, did you buy any gear over lockdown? Did you treat yourself?
Yeah, I bought a new Les Paul.
Oh, sweet, man.
77 custom Boyan. So just like, it's a long time coming. I've been chasing one for a long time, and I just picked the right one. Got that in some neck guitars here in Dublin.
Oh, was it actually handed into Dublin? Jesus, that was handy.
You know, so now like that's it's a vintage secondhand guitar shop, and he sells out some of the stuff. He sells brilliant, you know. But that was the only thing about, maybe a few pedals, but that was nothing really major. You know, I've gear from over the years, and I don't need to change it because there's nothing broke. I'm not into all this, whatever they call this, the Kempers and the Helixes, which are like they have all the sounds of the amp and the speakers built into the boards. You know, so if you whatever amp you want is built into that board. Yeah. And you can download people's rigs and put it directly into that board.
Yeah.
I'm not just plugging into an amp and just power. That's it.
Old school, man. Old school. Yeah. That's Howard from Partillon always swears by that as well, man.
You're better off, you know.
Yeah. You've probably come across Howard a few times through Cold War. He was in Five Will Die.
Yeah, I would have. I'm good at faces, bad at names.
Yeah, you can only block so much.
I know. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And like, even going back to when you were young, Paul, were you self-taught?
Yeah, the gas thing was, I started when I was about 13, and my mate's brother showed me a few chords.
Okay.
And then we just a band, kids, whatever, just doing a band, and then we do a band of cover songs and doing whatever songs usual, the Metallica's things, Pantera, whatever.
Were there the early influences, the likes of those Danzig, Metallica, were there any
Lizzie and Slayer? Well, I wasn't really. See, the thing was, the group, my brothers were listening to Lizzie and all that, and by the time I came to the age of actually appreciating it, I hated it. I was just sick of it. I only started to appreciate it. Well, I can take it or leave it with Lizzie. Like they are good. I do enjoy them, and whatever. But at the same time, I've just go because the brainwash as a child with them,
Yeah. So go on. Who would have been your early influences then as a guitar player? Just like starting.
Well, it would have been like fucking Jesus. You see, Randy Rhodes, like the Aussie guitar players, like Randy's, Zach Wild,
class,
Jakey Lee. That was about it. And then like there would have been like a few Kirk Hammett, but it wouldn't been an overly influence on Kirk Hammett. And then the Kerry Kings and Dimebag big time. Who else? Even certain guitar players in certain bands, like the guitarists and Biohazard and stuff like that, and Sickerall and stuff like that. It's not. It doesn't have to be technical. It's just the rhythm playing. It's just second to none with some of them, And then, what else would it be? So basically, this small circle, but it's enough. You can't be taking too much. But as I said, I taught myself, and I learned albums by ear or through tab. And then from the years playing, then I decided to get lessons after. 8 years ago, I just started to get classical lessons because I wanted to get to read music and understand the guitar, because I used to be able to hear something and play it, more or less. Yeah. But then I wanted to understand the guitar more.
Yeah.
And then I've done that for a couple of years, and then I then start writing albums again or playing my own music. It just takes an awful lot of time. And it's because you have to sit down. If you learn the piece, like you have to be dedicated to be playing, and you can't really play any other instrument or be involved in it. You just have to play that piece.
Yeah,
it's hard enough going.
Yeah, I mean, you could always kind of fall into the trap as well of just endlessly searching on YouTube for different guitarists, and then start actually doing it yourself then on YouTube.
Yeah, but that's it. I've seen all them the YouTube guitarists. I watch them being amazed, but then I'm looking at them going, will you just stop? Like half of them are just really terrible rhythm players. They run rings around you. It's maths metal, and I'm just looking at it going, it's just I do not understand this. It's not me. I'm not into it.
Yeah, but then again, I love watching Mick Carey of Zealot Cult. He's
but that's
different.
That's different. That's totally different.
Yeah,
it's it's more natural.
Yeah,
it's more natural. It's
there's
you're
no
into yeah, and you can slag them from the stage.
But I'm just fascinated there. Your first band really that got a release was Clay Pigeon, was it?
Jesus, thanks. Yeah. That was a band that we would have released a CD. Here's the story. Somebody knew somebody that knew somebody made up a story that Chelsea Clinton wanted us to play at 24 straight. And it got into the newspapers, it went everywhere. We ended up getting on a program called Echo Island and playing a song just because of this wind up.
Jesus, that's mental.
It was classic. And then just being in RTA and all that crap, and then the mime into your song, and you're just going, and then running after we finished. That was about 3 o'clock. Then we all ran to the pub to actually see it in the Neptune and the Flown to Dublin down in the basement to watch it.
Classic.
You blink and it was over, but there was a Halloween special. That's what it was. But I've tried to check it on YouTube. It's not on it at all.
Wow.
But that was that release, and we done.
And how old were you then?
I was probably 20. I was 30. No, it was 30. Was he? Yeah, it was 23 or so. It was 23, 24. Right,
Yeah.
so. And then, what happened then? We ended up playing a gig with Paul Diana, which was a big thing in Crewe in England, of all things.
Wow.
He was band Battlezone or something. And that was all really. It wasn't really anything serious. Done a few gigs around Dublin. And
Was
then
it kind of power metal or what, groove metal? What kind of form was it?
I'd say it was more like a Pantera down type influence on it. And then maybe the later stuff started to sound a bit more trashy, like an Anthrax, more of a Stomp 424, whatever it's called, that type of era of
because
Anthrax.
we've a mutual friend, Lars Fraser. Yeah,
he played. He actually, Lars. We done one gig with Lars in Slattery's. That was a really, really good gig. I really loved it. And then there was a guy in Merrow that was putting out an AC/DC tribute, and he got us to do Beating Around the Bush as a cover song.
Right.
So we done that, but it never got released. The song never got recorded. It did on a 4-track. That was it. I couldn't tell you where that is. But we just done the one, and then it never worked out after that. I think the bass player might have left, or it just didn't gel or something. It just went.
But of course, Gavin then was in the same band with you, and he went on to be with Two Tales of Woe under and Cold War.
That's right, yeah. Gavin he was in Clay Pigeon, then he was in Cold War for a little bit, and then he went on to Two Tales of Woe.
Yeah, good player, man.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I don't think he's playing at all now. He's just driving.
Oh right, okay. I didn't know that.
I don't think.
And Lar, I think, is fucking Jim Morrison at the moment, swanning around.
I actually went to see him about a good while ago now, and it was I'm not a Doors fan, but Lar's brilliant. He's brilliant. He really was good, really good. You know, the whole. There wasn't a dry seat in the house with the women.
Oh my God,
he's gonna love that.
He was a great mate. I met him through college. We went to the same college together, doing graphic design, man. And my God, like the man shouldn't have even been in college. Like he should have just been on the stage the whole time. Like.
Should have just put his table, his skill, and on the stage.
So, when you went, how did Cold War form then, we'll say that? Was there much period between Clay Pigeon ending and Cold War starting?
Well, I'll tell you now, right? I had a rehearsal studio called The Underground in Dublin.
Okay.
I started it around 94. And then the punk bands used to come in all the time. And then there was 3 guys just turned up and they were playing whatever, and you could hear them. And there was lovely bass tone, which was Skinny playing bass, and Breo on drums, and Ian Lawless on guitar.
Rest in peace, Skinny.
Yeah. So we after, I don't know, they released Gods of War demo, and then for a year or so after that, Ian asked us would I be interested in playing. I knew most of the stuff, like from hearing it, and I'd be always on the night that they'd be rehearsing.
Okay.
So learned to play. The first gig we did with them was in the Lord Cecil in Hackney around 2002. And then we went from there. I think we done 2 gigs that weekend, not too sure. And then we went from there and we played Agnostic Front coming on Dublin then around the same time. And then we went from that the next day. I know, could be getting mixed up there. But definitely we went over and we done a 10-day tour of the East Coast in New York and all that.
Jesus Christ.
Which we ended up, it was a bit, there was problems with the tour when we got over there. There was, didn't work, but we ended up playing CBGB's twice in 1 week. Incredible. Played in Connecticut, Hartford, and we played in a bar. The guys at Municipal Waste were there. That's on. There was, I didn't notice, but they weren't even. Not that they were known, but we wouldn't have known them. Let's say, you know. Then about 2 years later, you see them. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
And
like you've just skipped over like one of the most iconic venues in America, CBGB's. Like tell me what it was like as a kid going in there. Like, I mean, Jesus, like
deadly.
not many people get that chance, especially from Ireland.
No, sure, but suppose when you walk in, at the entrance, the bars to the right, you get down to the end, and then there's the stage area, dance floor, and the dance floor area might have been about 25 by 30 foot wide, something like that. And then down the side, there was your dressing rooms, the really grotty, deadly bar. But when you get down the stairs, there's the toilets, right? When you walk in, there's 2 urinals, and then there's the throne on a block of concrete in front of you with no doors. So if you need to use that, everybody can see it. And at the time was, they wouldn't let anyone, they couldn't have it closed off because people are banging up and stuff. Would have been in the 90s or 80s. And so when they took the cubicles down, they just left it.
Right.
Okay. But that was the big deals in all CBGBs. They had a throne that there was no seats or there was no doors on it, you know. Yeah. But the actual venue, the sound was incredible in the venue, you know.
Yeah.
But
it was small enough, though, was it really?
Yeah. It was like you could imagine it. Let's say let's say the sound desk of Fibbers to the stage was more or less that area of dance. That was your dance area.
Wow. Okay, that's
so it was never. Right. And then if it was packed, it was bleeding jammers. But the thing is, I'd seen sort of, let's say, you know, the hardcore dancing, but I never seen the extreme version of it before. In fact, they were kicking lumps out of each other, like and women getting involved, full on digs, flipped out. Just not like it's the dance that they're doing, they're milling into each other. And I'm just going, I couldn't be interested in that, like, you know, just full on.
Yeah, it was like Harley out of Cro-Mags and all. Then yeah, that was their kind of crew. Yeah, it was more or less take on another crew coming up, following a band from a different part of America, and it was kind of all sizing each other up. But when the gig started, then they'll mill each other out of it. Then.
Yeah, but that's what. But the thing was, this was actually part of the dance. Like you see them, like all these, like you see all the new hardcore bands doing it. They're doing all this swinging and windmills and the gorilla dance and all this stuff. And it's just
we're too old school for that shit, man. Fuck that.
Too old. Then sorry, I was too old even then to do it. Never mind.
Yeah. And that tour, who were you with, Paul? Was it Cold War?
Cold War, Verlin Strain, and geez, there was only two because one of the main bands, I just have to remember, they only played in New York with us, and we played with the Red Card, and a few other bands actually doing a few things after. Let's say we not because we played, just because whatever we'd seen them there, and we only knew their names because we played them, you know.
Yeah. And you videotaped that as well. That came out as a DVD. That's
come out as a DVD. That's on YouTube, you know.
Right. That'd be worth seeing, man. I hadn't a chance to look at it yet. My daughter actually showed me there about 3 weeks ago. Dad, look, and I went, I haven't seen that in years. Like, yeah.
You know, it's funny to see it. Like, you know, it's good times. Good memories were always made at that, you know. It was good crack, like.
And when you came back then from America from that tour, like, had you the debut album out or was it in the Sons?
So in the Sons, what happened was that happened, and then we started writing stuff, and then Brian was more into more punk. He's more into punk, and we were writing heavier stuff. So actually, Gav was in it briefly for writing, and then Marty ended up recording in the Sunstead Rays. So that would have been myself, Trevor. Oh yeah, so there was a thing was just the four of us playing, and in the rehearsal studio that I had, and we were just playing away, and Skinny was just suggesting about getting a separate vocalist. So we said, I don't know, whatever. I said, okay. But Trevor had been rehearsing with a band that didn't show up, and he was there on his own. Okay. So more or less we got him to come in. But Skinny and Trevor knew each other for a long time before all this, so it was just a mate joining the band, you know.
Yeah.
So Jesus, War Rising was the first song that he threw down vocals on, let's say.
Okay.
And it was just we sent Trevor going, oh, Seth Skinny looking at each other going, this is deadly, you know, because it was a different aspect, because Skinny could put his vocals in on it, you know. But after that, so we released, In the Sunset Race, and we done what we could with that at that time, you know.
Yeah.
We went.
What was the scene like back then, Paul? Like, because there's a lot of people.
It was quite good. It was. We played Fivers, played the Voodoo, we played with Discharge, and we played with, who else we played? Hatebreed, I think, on that lineup.
And like, were you getting up and down the country as well? Was there gigs on offer up in Northern Ireland and South down with us?
Yeah, we got gigs in, I think it was a Warzone we played one time. That could have been with Bray, but it was down there, Cork. We played with, I can't think.
You played in the Cruishkeen Lawn. I'm nearly sure I saw you in the Cruishkeen Lawn.
Oh, yeah, we played there a few times. I'm just trying to think of the, remember Mick and Decky's old band in Limerick?
Oh.
We played them. I can't think of the name of them now at the moment. Played them a few times. In the High Steel in Limerick, that's it. The High Steel, you know. That was good crack, you know. Climber, a broken arm, I did, and everything. Jesus.
No way.
Done it, but it was great crack.
Jesus Christ. And as I said, like, there was a lot of people going to gigs back then. There was,
but you'd get hit and miss. You'd get great nights, and then you just get crap nights. It just depends. People like new things, and if the new thing starts to become old, you don't be interested.
Yeah. And what was like kind of the ambition of the band back then? Was it to get to, say, the UK audience, you know, get on Crying, Metal Hammer, and
it wasn't even magazines. It was like more or less just to play gigs, get out there and play.
Right.
Like, we'd get in the van and we just get a boat over and we just drive down. We might do 3 gigs in the UK now. On the Sunset Ray, we ended up going up to Spain, or sorry, Catalonia. We ended up playing that area. Where else we played? We played in Holland. Done 2 gigs in Holland on that.
Where did you play in Holland?
Just Leeuwarden and Amsterdam itself, like.
Right.
So it was sporadic. Do you know what I mean? Just 2 gigs, 3 gigs, 2 gigs. We never done any. The longest thing we did up to that stage would have been in the States with Cold War, like, you know.
And were any of you holding down full-time jobs at that stage?
Yeah, we all were. But like, it was just, that's why it was like 2 gigs, 3 gigs, you know, that way.
Okay.
But I've been working myself since I was 23 or so. So I just, that's the luxury of it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. You were under no illusions that you were going to commit fully to a band and try and.
You couldn't, you know, not from Ireland. No.
Not from Ireland, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's easier in the UK. You see a lot of bands that we had played with, they're still going now. And you can see them all, you know, they're doing a lot of good gigs now, but they might have only been starting out when we were on the end of Cold War, you know?
Yeah. And we'll say over all those years of touring and stuff, like, you've definitely probably met a lot of heroes on the road and stuff. Any lads that made a lasting impression?
Jesus. Don't know.
As I said, you played the Discharge, the Exploited, Agnostic Front.
They were all good guys, like, you know what I mean? There was never any problems with them. Never arseholes, you know? You never, like, even playing the Carcass that time, that was brilliant. Like they were,
Carcass, yeah.
It was great. And then, that's Napalm Death. You might have a passing conversation with them. There wouldn't be anything sitting down and have. The only thing was Discharge. You sit down, you'd be sitting there and you talk, and they'd have a conversation. Like, this is grand. Everybody's relaxed. Yeah. That's what they want. They don't want to be like confrontation with all bands. They just want to go in, they play a gig. You just want to sit down after the gig, enjoy it, chill out. You know, they're all dating dinosaurs now.
I know, yeah.
But you know what I mean? But it's very rare you'll actually meet somebody that's in your face. And you just say, if they are in your face and they're not interested, you just say, listen, back off with it, just go out.
Yeah, or prima donnas.
Yeah, well, I've had that, like, different things from different people. You just tell where to go or wherever, like, you know.
Yeah. And like, Cold War, and more or less 2016. Did you see the end coming before it actually happened? Could you have?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it was
all
just, it's gone in a direction. My playing was going in a direction that the band had changed so many times
Yeah.
with different lineups.
Yeah.
And the music in itself was changing. And now, as you can see, if you looked at Pantheist and In the Sun's Dead Race, they have more in common than any of the two albums in the middle, from Bloodfire and Christmas Death Head. The first and the second album, the first and the fourth album had more in common, you know? So it was coming towards it. And the gas thing was the fella that recorded one of our first releases recorded our very last song. We went into the studio to do more stuff with Cold War, and we'd done the 3 songs or whatever it was, and then 2 weeks later I just went, nah, I've had enough.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
It needed to change for me as a player, like.
Yeah, and you know, like, there's nothing worse than trying to continue on and just not be happy. It was an easy enough decision then to stick with Trevor then for Senzar.
Yeah, it was grand. Trevor Marty, like, it was just.
And Marty,
I just wanted to just it wasn't like there was no decision really, you know, that way. It was just like I just left it for 2 weeks, but I was very impatient I can get, and I just right, let's do something different. And then it was the tail ends of some of them songs that ended up on the EP were written as Cold War songs.
Yeah, I was going to say they kind of leaked through.
They would have been written as Cold War, and I had them, but it was something that needed to change. We only could take it so far.
Yeah,
you know.
And I mean, we'll say when Senzar came out and you started touring, I presume you still had the hardcore group of fans that were still going to your gigs and trying to win over new fans. Was it?
We did. We actually came across, like, because it is a different sound, right? And what happened was we just, because it's come across as a different sound. People went to our gigs and the other like that you didn't. But the more, let's say, the punky element of the band was gone. And there wasn't a purpose. It's just, that's the way it worked, you know.
Yeah.
But it still has that, let's say, it's not totally, let's say, it's just us the way we play. You can't people that say it's this or that. I don't like putting it in a pocket or a genre or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
You know, it's just heavy. It's just music to me. You know, just the way I look at it. You know.
Yeah, and like it's just because, you know, fans tend to be fickle at the best of times, but I think the hardcore element of fans that have been going to the gigs for so long, they don't like change either. So I'm sure there was a lot of Cold War fans, and you had a big following around the country. I'm sure a lot of them, as you said, had to make a decision on you.
No, it wasn't even a decision. It would be like just not into it. You know, just you know, Cold War might have become, I wouldn't say nostalgia, but you know what I mean? I remember going to see them when I was 17, and now they're in their 20s. You know that way?
I do.
And you might have a totally change of their view on music, you know?
Yeah. And when you released the album, then what did you think yourself with it? You were happy with it? Because there was a good few songs on it that you said were there when Cold War existed.
There was Sir and Skybarrier.
Skybarrier.
They're more or less kicking around. Sir was definitely played as a Cold War song.
Right, okay.
We remember there was a gig and the power cut on stage, but the amp still worked, and we played that song totally in the dark. We opened the venue. It was upstairs in the Voodoo, and the whole, where the venue part of the stage now, that just went black. but all the equipment's dead on, but the lights just died, and we just played the whole song in the dark.
Class.
It was deadly. But no, he was really happy with it. It was just totally different. It was just better. I felt it was just a new look on thing. It was more fresher for us to play, and it was like starting again.
Yeah. Talk to me about the album cover. It's pretty class, I must say.
Yeah, that's it. Trev, that's what we liked, and like it's very simple. Sean Fitzgerald's done it for us, you know.
Right.
It's just very simplistic album cover. It just didn't want anything too, let's say, in your face, you know. That was the whole thing, you know.
Yeah, no, it is class. So what we're going to do is we're going to play Sky Burial, which I fucking love, man. And man, it still sounds as fresh as the day it was done, recorded. It's great fucking sound out of it, man.
Yeah, no, the bass on it's deadly. That's Andy down the back of vocals there.
How did you
sounds class.
How did you meet Steve?
That's again the rehearsal studio where I had in Dublin. He had played in a band Steam Pick, and then just in and out with a band of Stell. We used to play in Cold War, and then it's just known him from being around in the scene. And then like we knew he plays just playing around, so we just asked would you like to try it. We said yeah, fair enough, we play, you know.
Great acquisition, man.
You know, it's great, it's good, you know.
Yeah. And the lyrics then, they're Trevor's baby.
They're all Trev's.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on in there,
yeah,
stay in there.
Cosmic exploration there. I really like the track Senzar actually, and it's when he says chorus of illuminated souls, wild oceans, ebb and flow, sands to the infinite mind, you know, stuff like that is class. Like.
No, steadily. Now it's it is class. It's delivered well, you know what I mean?
It is, yeah. I mean, technically, you could do a concept album there with his lyrics alone.
Yes, we. It's very hard to keep the momentum when you're doing a concept route drifting away from it, But will people pick up on that,
Yeah, that's the thing. What are your own
the
opinions
attention
on concept albums? What are your own opinions on concept albums? You're looking at Voivod now, for example. They'd be great band for a concept album.
Personally, if I'm listening to me, the music, to listen to music, it's about like how vocal delivery and guitar hooks and all. That's what I hear.
Okay.
It's not the story and behind it or anything like that. It's just that's what I like about if it's the whole package. That way.
Yeah. But I mean, me and you were old school. Like I remember when Iron Maiden were releasing, Summer in Time, and before that even, like you'd be getting your vinyl and you're pulling it out and you're looking at the artwork and then you're examining the lyrics as well.
But that was what you like. I had it's Seventh Son and Summer in Time on tape. I actually still have Summer in Time on tape still, but only a while ago I found it again. I pulled it out and just looking at the back of it and just the whole layout of it. But I ended up recently, I bought it on vinyl there a while ago. But just to see the art, just the artwork on it.
What was Derek Riggs, wasn't it?
I don't think so. Was it? I thought it was another. It could be your man Crusher. Did he not? Did he not do?
No, I tell you,
he done the Aussie. He done Aussie stuff. Sorry,
Derek Riggs definitely, and I lost interest in him anyway after Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. That was
it. Once that bring her daughter to the slaughter, you'd look. You could stay in that fucking field, die. I just know. Wait, that was the God now. Fuck off, lads.
But I mean, like, for me and you now, how do you feel with Spotify and digital releases in general? They're so easy. For example, if you're just jumping in a car or going for a walk and stuff, you just throw on Spotify and it'll throw up random stuff as well as it'll play an album right through.
That is, yes. Like, but I bought this like device that changes your record player into a Bluetooth. Okay. Which you can Bluetooth and use a Bluetooth speaker to reduce the amount of stuff like your amp, your speakers and all that for a record player. But I was just saying to someone, I've done this, and they says, why don't you just Spotify it? And I said, have you ever listened to Dark Side of the Moon on Spotify? It stops. That album would be, do you know what I mean? The songs, certain songs, they meant to continue.
Yes.
But in Spotify, it stops in certain points and ruins the flow of the song towards the end.
Yeah, that's a great example. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
But that's the thing. Spotify is good for albums that are like stoppy starty. But if there's an album that's going to continue and play as one piece, it'll stop where that song is. That's your digital mark for marketing or for whatever credits or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, I kind of have a crossfade going on with it, so it kind of works that way. You can kind of set up a crossfade so you don't have that issue.
Yeah. Well, not I just put up my phone and Bluetooth it onto a speaker if I am listening to stuff on Spotify.
But you know what I got there the other day in a vinyl shop in Cork, and my jaw dropped when I saw it. A band called Viking. Have you heard of them before?
No.
You've heard of Dark Angel, haven't you?
Yes.
Of course you have. Okay, so Viking existed before Dark Angel, and it was your man Ericsson, the guitarist. There was two brothers, Ron and I can't remember the other guy anyway, but one of them went on to Dark Angel, but the other brother was the guitarist and frontman with Viking. And I have Man of Straw. It's a rarity now. This one is a CD release. And here I had in my hand their debut album on vinyl, Metal Blade, pulled it out, all the lyrics, the whole lot, and I'm going, 25 quid. And I'm looking around me. I just go, Jesus Christ. And I mean, it is perfect. Like, it is in mint condition. So I just went up to your one, still fucking freaking, kind of going, I'll have that there, please.
Yes, please don't catch me out.
You know, just like, okay, no problem. And I was going, come on. Bang, got it, 25 quid. I went home, and it's worth something like $380 on Discog.
Yeah, that's it.
Fuck's sake, like, but do you think I'd sell that though?
No.
No, exactly.
That's the thing, you wouldn't. Like, I went through on me, let's say, a heap load of CDs that I've got over the years. I was going to put them on Discogs, but I was going through them, looking at them, going, I know where I bought that. I know why I bought it. And no, I'm not getting rid of that. And I just won't get rid of them.
No.
I'll hold on to them, you know. You just
no
want to hold
point,
on to it. But like, I had a record player was wrecked for years, like, and I ended up getting it fixed or whatever. But then he had to bring the vinyl back down, and it was great, like, to actually listen to them and go, Jesus. And you can actually go 1, 2, 3, skip, and you knew when the album was going to jump. Like, you know.
Yeah, the Showing of Mercy now and the Rain and Blood, I know exactly where the skips are and the scratches.
Yeah,
and all.
yeah.
Class, like. But yeah, it's the more or less coming back into fashion so much now that bands are actually getting stressed over the fact that they can't get their vinyl made fast enough. As a band, would you have much of a conversation about that? Is it important for you?
We'd like to get the next release put out on vinyl, let's say.
Okay.
And we did think about the previous release for the Senzar to get it done on vinyl, but is there let's say a want for it? You know what I mean? It's about shift.
It's nice though when you're touring around and you come to the merch stand and the vinyl is there in front of you to purchase.
Yes, yeah, but it's very hard when everything's a standstill for a while. You know.
Yeah. It's
just you're going to get the stuff and then try and how do you shift it? You know.
You'd also have to have a conversation with Mick Richards as well in relation to recording it for a vinyl release, because there's a different way of recording to allow for a vinyl release, which I never knew, but Brad Boatwright, who did Sleep and a few others, he was telling us about that.
Yeah.
It's always a good idea to give the producer or the mixer or master the heads up that
I think you're only allowed a certain amount of minutes each side, isn't it, or something like that?
There's that as well. Yeah, there's a few elements into it. I wouldn't just dismiss it randomly and just kind of go, well, here's
we've looked into it. Yeah, it's looked into it. It's about getting, there's limited amount you can get run off, But no, it's nice actually when you go pick up a vinyl and just looking through. They gave him this tribute album, Randy Rhoads. You pick it up and you're just looking at it, going, I remember where I bought it. I can just looking at it, and I just opening the thing up, and got one with a limited poster in it, which you actually got Ozzy to sign in fucking 203 or in the early 90s. Ozzy got him to sign it, and it was mad. Him just looking at it, and he's just looking at the photographs, and you could see him getting pulled back in it, all the photographs gone. Oh fuck! Just signed it, and then that was the whole thing,
Wow, Jesus! Long gone are the days there. You'd be walking across O'Connell Street, and the tape traders be out with last night's Point Theatre.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Yeah, I remember getting bashed in the back of the copper. Do fellas be selling the tapes there? Yeah, and all the stuff that you have was brilliant. Like,
yeah, I have a lot of stuff. Early Metallica and a few other bands, they're all photocopied on coloured paper, and I got them.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think there's an Alice in Chains demo I have.
Was that with the Megadeth tour? Was it?
No. It's actually bootleg of a demo they had, and I don't know where the fuck I got it, but it's actually that whole thing, that whole yellow. I know, obviously, it was picked up in Dublin somewhere.
Yeah. What was the name of the shop that you go across O'Connell Street, heading for, we'll say, the Spire, but
Freeboard down the stairs.
Yes, down the stairs. Freeboard.
That was Freeboard, yes.
Yeah. Jesus
Now
Christ, I got some great fucking releases down there, man.
they used to have brilliant stuff, but they've moved up onto what's that? Exchequer Street, and they're in behind a place called the Hidden Bookstore.
Right.
So it's a long corridor wherever you go into, but that's where Freeboard is now.
Imagine that, man. Jesus Christ, like that was.
They used to have like these. I think they had 2 stores in Dublin at one stage. I could be wrong now, but I always remember the one in the basement. There was always great stuff to get.
Like you'd spend 2 hours down there, man, flicking through vinyls and CDs. And when was the last time you were up at Tommy Toy?
I actually walked by there on yesterday, and I didn't go into them. Like I haven't been in there, and Jesus, could have been maybe a year less. Maybe I used to go in quite a bit when I was younger, but I just stopped going because there was a lot of stuff that I wouldn't be interested in. Do you know what I mean? I'd either had gotten stuff, but you have to go looking.
Yeah.
And then, I actually went to the Tower, and they used to have a decent section, but now it's all been reduced. It's stuck in a little corner. It looks like bargain basement stuff, like a little bargain basement box. Like,
is it a vinyl or CD?
Yeah, vinyl.
Okay.
So Tower used to be good, but just have a good selection of stuff. But now it's just reduced to like a place over in the corner.
Are Towers still over by Brown Thomas that side? Yeah, or they moved it?
No, they've gone up to the street. I can't think of the name of the street. It's somewhere the Mansion House is.
Oh right, okay.
Which is in the Nassau Street. Side entrance of Trinity College, like.
Yeah. Such but like you'd always hit Tommy Toy especially when we're all up from Cork, you call into Tommy, like it
was great, like when you're a kid, it was great, like selling you fictional gigs and all.
And what about Invictus Records? They've moved as well. They're out towards Rathmines now.
They're over in just off Kenilworth Square.
I'm going to be up in Dublin, I think, in December, so I'm determined to call out there and give a shout out. Give a shout out as well to Shawnee Cads there with Last Light Recordings there, Shawnee.
Yeah.
He's involved. He's done some great work there with a lot of Invictus bands as well.
Yeah. But, where is he? What studios do you walk out?
Last Light Recordings.
Yes. Don't know that. It's how the a lot of bands are using the Hellfire Club now.
I haven't heard of that. No, obviously the name, but
not the recording place. Yeah,
where are they based?
Up at the Hellfire Club, as far as I know.
What? Really?
I think so. I could be wrong now, to be honest with you. But it's there's there's plenty of good studios around Dublin now, but Mick and Trackmix was always taking the bulk of the metal bands,
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, if you go to other studios, they hadn't a clue what to be doing with you.
No. It's look, he did a fucking amazing job on your first album, so it just makes absolute sense to stick with him for the next one. And what about bands at the moment? Do you follow the scene much, Paul?
No, not really. I pick up on stuff that I like. Listen to them. Just mostly listen to stuff that I grew up on. To be honest with you, there's very little that I actually pick up on. It's
Why do you think that is? Is it just through age, or are you just being bombarded with fucking too much?
Bombarded with stuff, and some I'm just looking at it going, just stop, lads. It's like bleeding. It's like organised pop music. That's exactly what it is. Like, it's. I could be wrong saying that, but that's the way I view it. I just, how would you say it in a nice way? No, they're good, like, whatever. They're doing what they do, but it doesn't float me boat at all, just the whole deal,
Yeah, no, it's what I'd ask. Like, I mean, as I said, as a podcast, you're always on the lookout for new bands, and it's always important as well to fucking make sure that the old acts are still, giving shout outs, with the Throwback Tuesday now, for example, with Cold War and stuff. That's how we got in contact, actually.
Now it's Ray Green. What was the one you posted? It was one a demo you done. You posted up a few days prior.
Wasn't Afterlife, was it, or one of those? No?
Yeah. It's gas because Ray used to play in like a rock band called Tune after that.
Okay.
Right. And I hadn't seen Ray in years, and then I'd seen him. It's Jesus, how things forever. Like, I actually have parts of his drum kit in the house here from Afterlife. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's mental.
I bought the kit off him for the studio, and it ended up it's in my house. It's a Crown Pearl Export.
Jesus Christ.
Lovely kit, like.
That's nuts.
Ray was a great drummer, he really was a good drummer, like, for the time, I never knew history about it, like saying that he more or less broke up after recording. Didn't know any of that, like.
Yeah.
It's just funny, like, that he wouldn't live too far away from me at all,
Oh, he's still in Dublin, yeah?
Well, I don't know where, I think he's often, might be, he is somewhere in Dublin, but like,
because a lot of lads just drift away naturally from the scene and, move countries even.
So between having that studio, I didn't play in many bands because it was just all you were doing was listening to bands 24/7. Then you go, do you want to go to my gig? Well, I've been listening to you for the last fucking 7 years. Do you think I want to go and see it in a pub?
Oh, classic, man.
Yeah,
we're getting more contrary as we get older, Paul. That's it, like.
Yeah, I said it's all right, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's we like our comforts,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just looking there now, just caught my eye there. Joe from Gamma Bomb was down, and I was just showing him a few CDs there, and what's staring at me there on CD is Razor Shotgun Justice. Do you remember them, no?
No, I know the name. That's about it, like. It's like an old Metal Hammer, you'd see.
From Canada, man. Real kind of Motorhead, kind of old school trash.
It's mad when you go through, you find their own magazines, like, and you're just looking through them, and you just find old reviews of like bands that, and you're going, and you're actually choking with the dust that's coming out and like the magazines. Like,
there was so many Metal Forces, Raw. Jesus Christ, I can't even remember. Like, Kerrang might as well be fucking smash hits now. Like,
that's it. Like this, it's been like that the last, I don't know how long, but it's just they're all gone. All the magazines, nobody was buying them anymore. People used to just pick them up in Eason's and read them cover to back to cover, whatever. Like, and then that was the end of it. Like, they put it back on the shelf.
Yeah.
People walking around. Don't be reading.
So how are you going to approach? Because, like, as a band, you're going to have to get out there on social media. It's a fucking nightmare for a lot of people. Yeah, of course. Yeah, man, I'm the same. But like you're going to have to get that release out there to people through Facebook, Instagram, get reviews done on you by different.
That's the thing. We're going to have to, like, it's just getting ahead. We just need to get it finished, get a cover sorted, ideas for covers started. I couldn't even tell you there's that many going around. And it's just, the whole thing is about just having it ready, and then send it off and trying to get it reviewed. There's that many releases coming out every day, every week. It's just impossible.
It's a nightmare, like.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's just impossible, like, to get it. So if you can get it reviewed, it's just, and even getting it to different formats. It's the Spotify, the iTunes. Was it Diesel, and then there's
Deezer,
Deezer or something, and then what's the other one?
Stitcher.
There's loads of different formats. Yeah, there's loads of them, and it's trying to get things followed back, and then following them all back up.
And which one of the band members has the appetite to do all that social media side of things?
Yeah, looking at them. And I'm not very hungry. And it's just about what it is. It's just getting it together first off, and then just going, right, okay, and then getting into it. And then as it gets easier and easier, because we haven't done this for so long, it's going to be a chore for the first few times, Yeah. And it's about summing up, let's say, interviews and trying to get a video, some sort of trying to come up with a video idea that's not just your normal fucking band in a room shouting at each other, like, you know.
Yeah. And avoid falling into the pit trap of lyrical videos, for fuck's sake.
Like, they worked, I think, what was it? Lamb of God done the very first one or something. I seen it. Did they do one of them bands done the very first, and then we did one for Eaters, Troy Cole, and then it was just like, it was good for the time. It worked.
Yeah.
It was just about getting out there, but not now.
No.
It's just,
Jesus Christ.
but like, I've seen a few of them cartoony type videos are going around.
Oh, yeah, and they might pull clips off anime, is it? Or
I don't. Yeah, but they're really good. Like, the best one they're saying, it's only as short as the last Conan thing they done. Like, and it reminds me of Jason the Argonauts. Like, it's only 30 seconds long, I think, the video, and it's just it's deadly. It's brilliantly.
Yeah,
and it's just that's the first thing I'd remember was just Jason and the Argonauts.
Jesus, I looked at that maybe 2 years ago, and remember the cutting edge technology at the time.
Yeah.
Was he fighting a scorpion or was it a crab?
He fought a scorpion. But,
and the skeletons as well. Skeleton.
Yeah, that's what the skeletons are in that, and then the skeletons are in Clash of the Titans. Calibos fucking stabs the Medusa's head, the blood hits the ground, and then the scorpions get bigger.
God,
and
then
I can't think of your man, the main hero, that's what you want to call him. He's in there fighting scorpions, and then they're trying to get Calibos. You know, then they release the Kraken, and you need Medusa's head to turn the Kraken to stone. And that was the one that was released in 1980, not the piece of dirt that they released.
Nah, I wouldn't watch that. I never did.
No.
Yeah. But stuff like that is out there on the internet. Yeah, you could definitely pull off that and put some fucking cool tunes to it rather than just a lyrical video. Jesus Christ.
It's just something interesting. It's just something you need to do, something different.
Yeah. So all that is ahead of you, man. Listen, be sure to fucking give me a shout. I'll gladly help you in any way, promotion-wise, or whatever like that, Paul, you know?
No, that's grand. Thanks very much for that.
Yeah, and say hello to Trev, Steve, and Marty for me, man. And thanks for coming on and shooting the shit with me for an hour anyway. It's good, having me on.
No, thanks very much. He's brilliant.
Okay.
Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yeah. So you've been listening to Richard from the Metal Self podcast. Check out Senzar. And 2022, we've been reassured that there's definitely going to be a single release anyway. Who knows if they'll get the album out? Hopefully.
We'll be out.
Yeah, cool. So so hit subscribe if you like the interview, and crucially, support your local metal scene.